Over the years, I've coached countless women in the amazing art of solo sex, fingering yourself, also called self-pleasure. And yes, I do have an amazing job. Many women come to me with different struggles in the bedroom, and in so many cases, changing the way they touch themselves is a very important part of the solution. So if you're a woman over 60 who could use some solid self-pleasuring advice, keep listening. My name is Dr. Leah Parker, and I create videos to help you enjoy the best intimate life of your own. Today's video is for women, for all the wonderful open-minded ladies who want more from their private time, more pleasure, more satisfaction, and yes, more orgasms. Make sure you stay with me right until the end because I'll be sharing a complete guide to fingering yourself, including a final move that makes all the difference. Whether it's during foreplay or as the main event, fingering can be deeply pleasurable when it's done the right way. In fact, with the right touch, a woman can reach orgasm using only her fingers. The beautiful thing about your hands is that they bend, they adjust, and they can scale from 1 finger to 2 or even 3. That flexibility makes them far easier to control than anything straight and rigid. Your fingers are powerful tools, and today I'll show you exactly how to use them. But before we dive in, I want to reassure you of something important. If your body has changed with age, if you sometimes feel drier, more sensitive, or even a little less responsive than you used to, that doesn't mean your pleasure is gone. It simply means your body needs a slightly different approach now. And once you know the right moves, you'll be amazed at what is still possible. Think of this as learning a new language with your body. You already know the basics, but now we're going to add the finer details, the small shifts in rhythm, the gentler touches, the little secrets that make the experience not just good, but unforgettable. And here's the best part. Every single move I'll be sharing with you today is something you can do privately, in your own time, with no pressure and no rush. This is about you, about creating moments of intimacy with yourself that leave you feeling satisfied, glowing, and more connected to your own body than ever before. So let's begin. Before you even touch yourself, there are a few simple but powerful things you can do to prepare your body and your mind, steps that make the difference between an ordinary experience and one that leaves you feeling absolutely alive. That's where we're heading next. Before we get into the 5 moves themselves, let's pause for something essential: preparation. And I don't just mean washing your hands, though yes, that matters too. I mean preparing your whole self, body, and mind, so that when you do touch, your body is ready to receive it. Start with the basics. Always wash your hands thoroughly with warm water and soap. Pay attention under the nails. Our tissues down there are incredibly delicate, and even the smallest scratch can cause discomfort. Keep your nails short and smooth, and if you wear rings, slip them off before you begin. It's not about being fussy, it's about creating a safe space where your body can relax without worry. Next, let's talk about lubrication. After menopause, many women experience dryness, and sometimes it comes on even when you're already aroused. That's because estrogen levels dip, and the vaginal tissues become thinner and more sensitive. The solution isn't to push through, it's to work with your body. Keep a trusted lubricant nearby. A good water-based lube is safe for everyday use. A silicone-based one lasts longer and feels silkier, and some women love natural options like organic coconut oil for external massage. What I don't recommend, especially after menopause, is using saliva. It dries too quickly, and it can actually increase the risk of urinary tract infections. Your body deserves better than that. Now, let's set the scene for your mind. Pleasure doesn't happen in a rush. If your thoughts are racing, or you're carrying tension in your shoulders and hips, your pelvic floor muscles will hold on to that stress too. So give yourself a moment. Breathe slowly, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Imagine every exhale softening the muscles deep inside your pelvis. Even 2 or 3 minutes of deep, steady breathing can shift you from thinking mode into feeling mode. If you enjoy Ayurvedic practices, you might like to warm a little sesame or coconut oil between your palms and give yourself a gentle belly massage, or even rub it into your thighs. This isn't just about touch, it's about telling your body, I am safe, I am cared for, I am ready to feel good. And one last thing, positioning. Many women over 60 tell me they avoid self-pleasure because of stiff joints or arthritis in the hands. If that's you, I want you to know there are solutions. Try lying back with a small pillow under your hips for support, or place a cushion under your knees if you're sitting up. Use whichever hand feels strongest that day, and don't be afraid to pause and stretch your fingers if they get tired. The point here isn't to perform, it's to enjoy. When you prepare your body and your mind with care, every touch that comes after feels magnified. And that's exactly what we need for the first move, a move that many women overlook, but one that can make all the difference. Now that your body and mind are prepared, we begin with the first move, and it's one that too many women skip over: teasing. When you were younger, maybe you rushed. You might have gone straight to the clitoris or straight inside, thinking that faster meant better. But after menopause, your body has different needs. Blood flow to the vulva is slower, tissues are thinner, and arousal takes more time to build. That doesn't mean less pleasure, it means you deserve more patience. And patience pays off. Start away from the genitals. Let your fingers wander over your thighs, your belly, your hips. Stroke in slow, deliberate motions, like you're painting your skin with warmth. Don't think of this as delay. Think of it as priming the canvas before the masterpiece. Every stroke wakes up nerve endings and brings more blood flow to the places that matter most. When you're ready, let your touch hover closer. Over your underwear or a soft piece of fabric, press your palm gently against your vulva. Hold, release, hold again. That gentle pulsing of pressure, even through a barrier, creates waves of anticipation. The beauty of teasing is that it builds longing, and longing makes everything more intense when you finally give yourself what you've been waiting for. If you enjoy playfulness, trace along the edges of your underwear with a fingertip. Draw slow lines across your inner thighs, just brushing the skin, and then pull back. Notice how your body responds. Maybe you feel warmth spreading, or a soft ache of wanting more. That ache is good. That's your body's way of saying, yes, I'm waking up. I cannot stress this enough. Teasing is not filler, it is fuel. It is the very thing that swells blood into your clitoris, your labia, and the vaginal entrance, which makes the next moves not only possible, but powerful. And here's a little secret: the more you let yourself tease, the less effort you'll need later. Because by the time you move into direct touch, your body will already be humming with sensation. So linger here, stay curious, let anticipation rise, because the next move, clitoral awakening, only works at its best if you give your body this head start. Once your body is buzzing with anticipation, it's time to awaken the star of female pleasure, the clitoris. But before you rush in, let me remind you, at our age, the clitoris often needs a gentler invitation than it did years ago. Many women in their 60s and 70s find that what once felt good quickly now requires slower, softer buildup, and that's perfectly normal. Begin by exploring the clitoral hood, that little fold of skin that partially covers the clitoris itself. Instead of going straight to the tip, rest your fingertip just above or to the side, and make tiny circles. Think of movements smaller than a coin. The key is subtlety, not pressure. This keeps the nerves excited without overwhelming them too soon. You can also try a gentle side-to-side stroke, like you're brushing crumbs from a table, or a slow around-the-clock motion, touching lightly at 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock around the hood, then filling in the spaces between. Each direction stimulates different bundles of nerves. As you play with these patterns, notice your body's signals: a sharp intake of breath, the arch of your back, the soft tilt of your hips. These are all green lights telling you that your clitoris is waking up beautifully. If instead you feel too much sensitivity, pull back slightly, broaden your touch with the flat pad of your finger instead of the tip, or move back to stroking the inner thighs before returning. And don't be afraid to experiment with rhythm. Some women love steady, repetitive strokes. Others prefer variation, like switching from circles to gentle taps, then back again. The clitoris has more than 8,000 nerve endings, and each woman's responds in her own unique way. The beauty of self-pleasure is that you have time to discover yours without pressure. If you'd like, add a drop more lubricant here. Lubrication reduces friction, and for post-menopausal tissue, that means more comfort and less irritation. Think of it as giving your clitoris a soft cushion of glide, so it can focus only on pleasure. Spend time here. There's no stopwatch, no finish line. Clitoral awakening is not about racing toward orgasm, it's about slowly building waves of sensation until your whole body feels alive. And when you're ready, we'll take the next step, moving from the outside in, exploring the incredible potential of internal touch. Now that your clitoris is awake and responding, you may feel curious about going inside. Internal touch can add a new layer of fullness and pressure, but it's important to approach it gently, especially after menopause, when tissues are thinner and sometimes more delicate. First, make sure your finger is well lubricated. A dry finger against post-menopausal tissue can feel scratchy or even painful, and that is not what we want. A generous glide of lube makes all the difference. When you're ready, place your fingertip at the vaginal opening and pause. Just resting there can already feel intimate. If your body says yes, slowly ease in with one finger. Don't rush, slide in only as far as feels comfortable. Once inside, pause again. This gives your pelvic floor muscles a chance to relax around the new sensation. From here, try the classic come here motion, gently curling your finger toward your belly button, just a centimeter or two inside. This light pressure touches the front wall of the vagina, where many women find special sensitivity. Move slowly, explore small arcs upward and to the sides, noticing what feels good and what doesn't. Remember, this isn't about thrusting in and out like a toy or a penis. Your finger's gift is its ability to bend, to find angles, and to adjust pressure. That's what makes it so powerful. If you notice any burning, dryness, or sharp pain, stop, pull back slightly, or return to external play. Pain is your body's way of asking for patience. Sometimes more lube, or even a short pause, is all that's needed before trying again. And let me reassure you, not every woman enjoys internal touch, and that is completely normal. Some women prefer to focus entirely on clitoral stimulation, while others like the combination. There is no right way, only your way. If internal touch feels good for you, stay with it. Let your body guide you. Feel the gentle stretch, the warmth, the sense of fullness. And when you're ready, we'll add a new layer, blending this internal touch with the external clitoral play you've already awakened. That's where things can get really exciting. Now that you've explored both external and internal pleasure, it's time to blend the two. For many women, especially after 60, this combination is where the deepest, most satisfying sensations are found. The area often called the G-spot is located about 1 to 2 inches inside the vagina, on the front wall toward your belly. When you're aroused, this tissue becomes slightly spongy or ridged to the touch. Not every woman feels this zone in the same way, and not every woman enjoys it, but if you do, it can create an incredibly full and powerful sensation. Start with the come here motion we practiced earlier, gently curling your finger forward. Once you've found that slightly different texture, add a rhythm, slow, steady strokes or light taps. Small movements go a long way here. You don't need to be forceful. In fact, gentle and consistent is almost always better. Now comes the magic. With your other hand, or even just the pad of your thumb if it feels comfortable, return to your clitoris. Keep the touch external, over the hood, while your inner finger continues its rhythm. This is what we call blended stimulation, and for many women, it's the key to unlocking orgasms that feel deeper, stronger, and more complete. Pay close attention to your body's signals, a quickening breath, the soft rise of your hips, a moan you didn't plan. These are signs you're on the right track. If anything feels overwhelming, simply lighten the pressure or shift back to clitoral-only touch. Remember, there's no rule book. You are in charge here. What matters most is rhythm and patience. Your body craves consistency, finding a stroke it loves, and then staying with it long enough for the sensation to build. Too much switching, too much experimenting at once, can break the wave before it crests. Blending clitoral and G-spot touch is powerful, but it's not the ultimate secret. There's one more move, the final step that brings everything together, and it's the reason women in their 60s and 70s often rediscover a spark they thought was gone for good. That's what we'll explore next. We've arrived at the final move, and I call this one the Lighthouse secret. Because just like a lighthouse beam that shines steady and true, this move is about finding what works and then staying with it. Here's the truth. The biggest mistake women make, and partners too, is changing the touch right at the edge of climax. It's natural to get excited and think you need to do something new, but that sudden switch can actually cause the sensation to fade away. Your body needs steadiness to cross that finish line. So once you discover the stroke, the rhythm, or the pressure that makes your body say yes right there, don't change it. Keep your hand, your pace, and your pressure exactly the same. Treat it like a lighthouse signal, constant and unwavering, guiding your body safely into release. Breathe with it. Deep, steady breaths can relax your pelvic floor and help the wave travel through your whole body, not just your genitals. Let your thighs tremble, let your hips move, let the sound out of your mouth. This is your body opening fully to its own pleasure. And if the orgasm feels smaller than it used to, don't judge it. Your body is different now, and every release is still healing, still nourishing, still proof that your pleasure belongs to you. But you may be surprised. Many women in their 60s and 70s tell me that with this steady Lighthouse-style approach, their orgasms became deeper and more satisfying than they ever expected. This is the move that ties everything together. Teasing builds anticipation, clitoral awakening stirs sensation, internal touch adds fullness, the G-spot blend amplifies it all, and the Lighthouse secret allows the wave to finally crest, steady, strong, and completely yours. But before we close, there's one last step that too many women overlook: the afterglow. What you do after pleasure can be just as important as the build-up. Let's explore that together. So you've explored the 5 moves, and maybe you've even felt that powerful release. But your journey doesn't end at orgasm. What comes next is just as important: the afterglow. Right after pleasure, your body is flooded with hormones that calm stress, lower blood pressure, and soothe your whole nervous system. Instead of jumping up or brushing it off, give yourself the gift of staying in that glow. Lie back for a moment with your eyes closed. Place one hand on your belly, the other over your heart, and breathe slowly. Feel the warmth spreading through you, like ripples across a pond. This is your body thanking you for the care you've just given it. You might enjoy pulling a soft blanket around your shoulders, sipping a warm cup of tea, or even journaling a few words about how you feel. Think of it as sealing the experience, reminding yourself that self-pleasure isn't just a physical act, it's emotional self-care. For women in their 60s and 70s, this integration step can be the most healing of all. It reminds you that intimacy doesn't depend on anyone else, it belongs to you, and every time you claim it, you reinforce your own aliveness. So let's recap. We began with teasing, the fuel for arousal, then clitoral awakening to gently spark sensation, internal exploration to invite fullness, the G-spot blend for deep blended pleasure, and finally, the Lighthouse secret, the steady rhythm that carries you over the edge. Together, these moves form a map back to your own body, no matter your age. If this video has resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. What part spoke to you most? Have you tried any of these techniques before? This community is a safe space for women to learn from and support one another. Your words might encourage someone else to begin her own journey. And if you found value here, don't forget to subscribe. Every day I share new conversations about women's intimate health, blending the best of modern medicine with gentle natural practices so that you can live your most confident, joyful, and vibrant life. Remember, your body is not behind you. It's still yours, it's still alive, and it still deserves pleasure.